In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on August 26, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Navy versus Notre Dame. The Navy Midshipmen and the number 13 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish will kick off their season on Saturday at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. This will be the 3rd time the 2 teams will meet in what was originally dubbed the Emerald Isle Classic, and the 8th time since 1988 that Ireland has hosted a Division I college football game. Navy finished 4-8 in 2022 and parted ways with longtime head coach Ken Niumatalolo after the season. Former defensive coordinator Brian Newberry now takes over as the head coach. The Fighting Irish will be in their 2nd season under head coach Marcus Freeman after finishing 9-4 in 2022 and defeating South Carolina in the Gator Bowl. The Navy Midshipmen changed course for the 2023 season, going with Brian Newberry as head coach, making this the first season since 2007 where Ken Niumatalolo was not the head coach of Navy. Niumatalolo had a pair of 11-win seasons with the Middies and 10 bowl appearances, but a combined 11 wins in the last 3 years, including a 4-8 mark in 2022, was the final straw. The Middies will likely still be running the option offense as we've come to expect, but the addition of Grant Chestnut from Kennesaw State as offensive coordinator likely means we see a few new wrinkles and maybe a few more pass attempts per game than we normally see, or maybe different run formations. Ty Lavatai and Xavier Arline will likely be the 1-2 punch under center for Navy, and Dava Fofana is back after leading the Midshipmen with 769 yards and 6 touchdowns. On defense, the Midshipmen lose John Marshall at linebacker, but Colin Ramos returns and Jacob Busick is also back in the front 7 to create pressure off of the edge. The main strength of Navy's defense will be the secondary, as it's a veteran group with lots of experience led by Rayuan Lane and Mbidi Williams. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish had a bit of a bumpy start to the Marcus Freeman era in South Bend, starting with a loss at Ohio State and then a massive upset loss to Marshall, as well as a loss at home to Stanford, but still managed to finish at 8-4 on the year and ended up with a win over South Carolina in the Gator Bowl by a final score of 45-38. The quarterback situation undergoes a shakeup for the Irish, with Tyler Buchner and Drew Pine transferring out, but the Irish got one of the best pivots of the options in the transfer portal, bringing in former Wake Forest quarterback Sam Hartman, who has almost 13,000 career passing yards and 110 touchdown passes with 5 years of experience. Audric Estem is back in the backfield for Notre Dame after finishing with a team-high 920 yards and 11 touchdowns last season with almost 6 yards per carry. The receiving group takes a hit with the loss of top tight end Michael Mayer, but Jaden Thomas and Tobias Merriweather have the tools to be the top benefactors in the receiving corps after the addition of Hartman. Defensively, it's a nice blend of transfers and returning talent, with J.D. Bertrand back at linebacker after putting up a team-high 82 tackles last season, and Jack Kaiser's back after finishing 2nd with 58 total tackles. The pass rush will be solid as well, with Javonte Jean-Baptiste transferring in from Ohio State, and the secondary has a stud sophomore in Benjamin Morrison, who had 6 interceptions last year and has All-American written all over him. The safeties also get some solid help, with Thomas Harper transferring in from Oklahoma State. Navy is 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games overall and 4-1 against the spread in their last 6 neutral site games, while the under is 13-5 in their last 18 neutral site games. Notre Dame is 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games on grass and 9-4 against the spread in their last 13 neutral site games, while the over is 7-0 in their last 7 games overall. The over is 9-3 in the last 12 meetings between these 2 teams. Week 0 is here. The long and eventful offseason is in the rearview mirror, and the 2023 college football season is upon us. Much like last season, the campaign kicks off with a matchup overseas featuring a pair of prestigious programs, as Navy will take on Notre Dame from Dublin, Ireland on Saturday afternoon. If you've followed us over the past couple of seasons, you'll know that we love backing service academies when they're catching more than 2 touchdowns against a power program. That trend bore fruit with Navy on multiple occasions in 2022, and I'm going back to the well to start off the season with a solid effort from the midshipmen in Dublin. Navy is a difficult team to handicap, and the mids can often create a bit more variance in a game due to their unique style of play. Add in the fact that this is the first time anyone is seeing Navy's brand new scheme under new offensive coordinator Grant Chestnut, and I expect this contest to have more variance than the market is accounting for. This is still a triple option-oriented attack, but should feature more RPO and short passing plays to keep a relatively unproven Fighting Irish defense on its toes. On the other side, the Irish are welcoming in a new offensive coordinator of their own, along with Sam Hartman at quarterback. Hartman should make Notre Dame's offense a lot more dynamic in the long run, but I'd expect the Irish to struggle a bit out of the gate against a veteran-laden Navy defense that brings back a ton of production from a season ago. Throw in the fact that Navy wants to run the ball and win the time of possession battle, and you have a serious recipe for this game being played at a slower pace and with less possessions on either side. If the midshipmen are able to keep the tempo of the game within their comfort zone, it's hard to see Notre Dame running away with it. Ultimately, there isn't much data we can point to on either side, but the spot is one that has consistently favored the Service Academy against the number. The Irish are the more name brand team here, and going against the Irish in Dublin is tough, but I really think Navy's new outlook on offense can help make the Middies tougher to prepare for, and the new clock rules can make it tough on teams like Notre Dame to cover big spreads, especially when the Irish are a run-heavy team themselves. All in all, I'm expecting a 13 to 17 point Notre Dame victory, so this number has value at 20 or better. So the Navy midshipmen to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The total has bumped up 1.5 points since it opened at 49. That movement is more than likely due to the veteran presence of Hartman at quarterback for Notre Dame. Hartman will certainly make his mark for the Irish as he attempts to strengthen his resume in what he hopes will be a pro football career after this season. I do, however, think he will struggle a bit out of the gate as he adjusts to a relatively inexperienced group of receivers. He will make the necessary adjustments as the season goes along, but it will be a lot to ask of Hartman to put up huge numbers on Saturday. Additionally, as I said earlier, Navy will do its best to play ball control in this game and keep the score manageable. Also, keep in mind that Navy went under this total in each of their first 4 games last season, while Notre Dame went under this total in 2 of their first 3 games. There will be bigger scoring days ahead for the Irish and this offense, but Saturday will not be one of those days. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Ohio U versus San Diego State. The San Diego State Aztecs play host to the Ohio Bobcats in a season opener from Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday evening. Ohio had one of their better seasons in recent memory last season, going 10-4 overall, setting the tone for a strong 2023. For the Aztecs, they somehow worked their way into a bowl game, but a 7-6 record continues to leave quite a bit to be desired. With this being the first matchup of the season for both sides, as well as coming a week earlier than usual, it'll be interesting to see how these teams are able to shake off the rust early in Week 0. Ohio will go on to have a strong season in the Mid-American Conference, but this will be a difficult matchup for them. To start, having to travel across the country is going to be a challenge, while doing so in the season opener, when already working on shaking off the rust, is only going to add to those issues. Beyond that, Ohio has a quarterback coming off of an ACL injury, and it remains to be seen how he'll be ready for action as well. On the other hand, the Aztecs found success with Maiden under center last year, despite him having shifted his focus to the defensive side of the ball for training camp and to open the season. With a full camp under his belt now, there are far fewer unknowns surrounding his ability to find success than that with Rourke on the other side. The Bobcats might hang around early, but with so much working against them, they won't have the offensive or defensive firepower to keep up in the second half in this one. So the San Diego State Aztecs money line is our full game side pick. You can see through those scores in Ohio's non-conference road games from the past 2 years that expecting the Bobcats' offense to be firing on all cylinders right out of the gates might be nothing more than a pipe dream, regardless of the opponent. Ohio scored 10, 10, 14, and 6 points in August-September non-conference road games the past 2 years, and the Aztecs' defense could be considered right on par with the Penn State, Iowa State, and Northwesterns of the college football landscape. Hard to count on that much being different here, especially when you assume San Diego State is going to be working with their general formula of doing what they can to hold team to under 20 points. Even in that down year a year ago that finished 7-6 straight up for the Aztecs, San Diego State owned a 6-1 straight up record when they held their opponent to under 20 points. Solid defense and controlling the clock with the run game are staples of Brady Hoke's Aztecs teams, and given how dangerous they know QB Curtis Rourke can be, bleeding the clock by running the ball and keeping Rourke on the sidelines is likely to be part of the Aztec strategy here as well. San Diego State has used that formula quite well in home openers to get to that 6-1 straight up record the past 7 years, but a 1-5-1 over-under record in those 7 games also gives plenty of support to going under the total in this year's home opener as well. The Bobcats aren't going to fear much of San Diego State's offense at all, and as long as they keep all the runs in front of them and avoid continually giving up the big play, 49 points is going to be rather tough for these two teams to reach. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. San Jose State versus Southern California. The San Jose State Spartans of the Mountain West Conference traveled to Los Angeles to take on the number 6th ranked Southern California Trojans at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on Saturday evening in their first game of the new season. The Spartans had their second winning season in the past 3 years and second since head coach Brent Brennan took over in 2017. The Trojans finished 2022 with an 11-3 record and a number 12 ranking in the Associated Press Top 25. The Southern California Trojans and defending Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams take the field early this season, opening the campaign against the San Jose State Spartans. There are a lot of storylines to this game, and virtually none of them have anything to do with San Jose State. The attention and, of course, the pressure will be squarely on Lincoln Riley, Williams, and the Trojans. This will be their last season in the Pac-12, and USC will feel the pressure to win. Making the college football playoffs will only get harder when they join the Big Ten next season. Besides, the Trojans are expected to have the nation's best quarterback and maybe the best offense. That's a lot to live up to. So what do we know about each team? Let's start with Trojans. This offense should be pure gas. It is deep, experienced, well-coached, and dangerous. The offensive line is built largely on transfers, but that should be okay. This team's questions are all on the defensive side. There are a lot of transfers there too, but not many people outside of the Trojan locker room have much faith in this unit, its coordinator, or its scheme. The Trojans are built to outscore opponents, and they will probably have to. San Jose State is projected to finish in the middle of the pack in the Mountain West, but I think the Aztecs will be better than that. They probably have the best quarterback in the conference in Chevan Cordero. The dual-threat quarterback isn't Caleb Williams by any means, but he's experienced and dangerous, and almost all of this offense returns from last year. Their defense lost several all-conference players, but this has been a consistently solid defensive program for several years, and I think they will be good again, although expecting them to slow down the Trojans is probably a bit much to ask. There is little doubt that Southern California will score a ton, and a game total well above 60 attests to that. But I also think the Spartans will be able to score with an experienced defensive unit that knows each other and shouldn't have much of a ramp-up period to open the season. If the USC defense struggles as many expect, the Spartans could very well keep this one inside the spread. So the San Jose State Trojans to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. With the prolific Williams at the helm, USC went over the point total in 8 straight games to close out the 2022 season. They went over the point total in all but 2 of their games at home, and they scored 40-plus points in 2 of their last 3 games played at Los Angeles Memorial Stadium. Williams averaged 3 touchdowns per game last season and 9.1 yards per completion in each of his last 2 seasons, so his ability to score quickly in bunches is not in question. USC's defense and Riley's system is capable of giving up significant points to their competition even when they are in control of the game. Their opponents scored 35 points in 5 of their last 7 games. Mountain West preseason Offensive Player of the Year Cordero and their strong core of returning offensive players are certainly capable of putting points on the board. The Spartans scored 27 or more points in each of their final 6 games of the season, and they pushed or went over the point total in 5 of their last 6. With both teams built to score points quickly and consistently, look for this game to end with both quarterbacks putting up massive numbers. USC is one of the most talented offenses in the country, but this spread is massive for a team that struggled to get stops last year. San Jose State is not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, and they have a very experienced quarterback. USC's offense should have no issue scoring, but I don't think asking San Jose State to score 24-plus points is too much to ask. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.